Hi everyone, welcome to another one by me, your soon to be absolute fave. Um, as you can already see by the title of the video, today I'm doing story time, my accident story time. So before we get into the story, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I think that's all. So I'll be telling the story, but like I'm busy with crocheting. I'm crocheting a top for one of my clients. I have a small business, and I crochet everything that you can think of. So if you need something, please hit me up, hit me up, hit me up, and I'll sure get back to you. So without further ado, let's just get into the story time. So um I was involved in a car accident when I was 7, as I had maybe already said in my previous video. So this other fateful day, my grandmother was visiting her child. Like she decided that she was gonna. It wasn't even like a decision she made on that day. So like her mother, my great grandmother, went to visit her grandchild, which is my aunt. Okay, which is my grandmother's daughter. Uh, my great grandmother went to visit her grandchild, which is my aunt. So my grandmother had decided that we were gonna go fetch her in Kiani, so we can come back together, because she had been gone for like a month, if not 2. So my grandmother, because of the way, like she never wanted to leave me behind. Everywhere she went, she wanted me to always be there. That was one thing about her. Like she felt like if she leaves me behind, then I'm gonna be abused and things like that. So she insisted on living with me. And then I remember at that time, my dad also said that he wanted to come fetch me, because I think there was something going on. I'm not sure if it was a party or what was going on, but like they wanted me to come for the whole week and they were gonna bring me back. So my grandmother was like, no, when we come back from Guyana, we will meet. Go. I don't really remember where they said they were gonna meet, but that's where she would give me to them, because my dad lived back then. He lived in his hometown as Hobo. So fine, cool. So my grandma was like, no, I'm gonna live with her. We're gonna go to Guyana together. Then when we come back, that's when I'll give you. That's when you'll go. Okay, sharp. We left. I remember even on that day, I wore like there were this black and white trick shirts. They were like my favorite. I wore them. I was like, yo. My grandmother was like, yo, we're not gonna get taxis because it's already like late. From where I lived to Guyana was like a 2 hours drive. Yeah, 2 hours. So my grandmother didn't have a car, obviously, so we were gonna use public transport. So we used a taxi, went to this other place called Sukmekar. It was local, and then from Sukmekar we were supposed to get another taxi to, what's that place? Is it Tebele? Yeah, I think the place is called Tebele. And we didn't get a taxi because it was already like after 12. So was it after 12 even? I'm not really sure. But I decided, like, my grandmother, not me, my grandmother decided that like we were gonna hike. So we went to a hiking spot, and then came like this white polo came through, and then it stopped. In that white polo there was a man, a woman, and there are 3 kids. If I remember correctly, yeah, it was sorry, it was 3 kids. So It was me, my grandmother, and my younger sister, who is my aunt, my younger aunt's daughter. She was only one at that time, so it was me, her, and my grandmother, and then it was the woman, the man, and the three kids. So what went down was that the two oldest kids, sat in the front seat, and then the woman drove. Then the man sat in the back seat with one child, like he was, yeah, with one child. Nakukile ngwana one. Then my grandmother nakukile my younger sister, and then I was in the middle, like straightward in the middle of like the two front seats, and in the back seat I was in the middle. So cool. We drove. I remember when we started driving, my grandmother was like, sit still. Like it was, she kept pushing me back to like sit and have my back against the seat. But because I was young, I was busy like playing with those kids in the front, and then I don't really know what happened. Like when the accident happened, I don't know. When the accident happened, like it's like your mind plays everything in slow motion. Like you see what is happening, but your mind doesn't want you to do anything to stop it. Like you won't be able to stop it, but it's in slow motion. I don't know if you get it. So when the accident happened, the car rolled 3 times, 2 times, and on the third time I went out of the windscreen, like in the front. I went out. Shoop, shoop, shoop. So I went out. My grandmother was stuck in the car, and my younger sister, she got out before the car even started rolling, because I remember she was up there and we were down there down in a hill. So the car rolled and I got out of the windscreen, and the only thing I can remember was these two women were speaking Tonga, saying to me that I shouldn't touch, like saying "Sukumi," something like that. And then I passed out. Oh, before I passed out, I saw my grandmother. Like it's like they were trying to pull her out of the car because she was stuck in the car. They were trying to pull her out of the car, but like they couldn't. She was stuck in the car. And then, so after that, an ambulance came. We went to 3 different hospitals. I went to Mankweng, which is where I was born. My grandmother went to, I forgot the name of this hospital, but it's somewhere in Guangzhou. And then my little sister went to Japan. No, my grandmother's the one who went to Japan. I don't really remember, but we were all in 3 different hospitals. So I got admitted, obviously, and then I was in ICU. This part of my face was like, I don't know how you're gonna get it, but like this was out there, like this whole part was out there, and then the small chip of my nose was cut off, and then it's just that my bones have healed. Not sure if you're gonna see anything, but like one of these bones was broken. We won't say it was this one. To be more precise, it was this one. It was broken. Also, my foot was not broken, but like it had a crack, like it was cracked. The bone in my foot was cracked, and so I had to like be laid down. I couldn't wake up and all those kind of things. I was in the ICU for like 3 weeks, if I remember correctly, and after that I was in the hospital for a whole 2 months. So I missed 2 months of school. I was in grade 2, by the way. I missed two months of school, and then I was discharged. Yeah. So what they did, Komangweng, was like put the whole thing back together. But I had this, you see those big stitches they give to people, like You could literally see my stitches, like it was like you could see the scars of the stitches even. And this was just so big. It was like too big. It was just out there. I remember I had to wear like a patch. When I got back home, I didn't even want to go outside to play because I felt different. I knew I was different, so I didn't want to go outside. I didn't want to play. I just wanted to be on my own. And on the day that I decided that I was gonna go out and play, I played with my cousin who had already like seen what I looked like. And then going back to school, I like people were feeling pity for me at first. So I wasn't really bullied at first because people were like feeling pity for me. Like I was pitied. Everybody wanted to, get the whole story of what happened. But after a few months, I still had to wear like an eye patch. I remember I had them in different colors. I had like orange. It was like an egg. Then I just put it here, put the bandage first, and then put the egg roll on top. So the first okay, the first few months wasn't that hard because I was treated really good. Even the kids weren't mean to me. Like I felt like the support that I needed from everybody around me. Even though like as a kid I was still angry that that had happened to me. So I went to school from grade 2. I remember in grade 2 I don't really remember because the accident happened on the 28th of September. So 2 months later, September, October, November. So I went back to school in November, and then I sat on the teacher's desk because the teacher was scared that if I sat with the other kids, that we would play and then someone would mistakenly hurt me. So I sat with the teacher on the table, and then that was in grade 2. Grade 3, that's when the bullying started. I was bullied to a point of not wanting to go to school, but I would go to school because I was told that inner beauty is all that mattered. And like I felt forced to do everything. I felt forced to go to school. I didn't want to live. I just wanted to die. It was so hard. And I pity is that like the people around me, especially my aunt, because I was living with my aunt and my grandmother. Like I don't know if they didn't notice anything, but I was bullied, and there were some things that I kept to myself, and some things that I would say, like maybe I would get home and say, yo, Mamang did this to me, Mamang said this about me, but it was like 1 out of 10 learners. So it was really hard because at the same time I wanted people to love me again, but it wasn't the case. I thought, what if I snitch on them? I'm giving them more reason to hate me. So it was so bad. It was so bad. Even my grade 3 teacher was in on it. That woman bullied me when she was supposed to care for me, when she was supposed to support me, when she was supposed to make sure that I wasn't bullied. She bullied me. She made sure she made me feel like she would make me feel excluded. I don't know what I did to her, honestly, and it even to this day it still hurts that a grown-up woman would instead of protecting a child, make them feel worse about themselves. So by God's grade, I got through grade 3, went to grade 4. That's when I was still bullied, but then I was just like, I was an angry child by then. I would get into fights because I would beat my bullies. Not that I would beat them. At first, I didn't beat them. So I was just bullied and then would laugh because that's just who I am. So I would laugh about it. the bullying got much more and much more, to a point where I became a bully myself. So before you bully me, I would bully you. It became like that. I would laugh about things before people laugh about them. I would make jokes before people make jokes, so that I can take the attention of myself, It was a hard period of time where I had to pretend to be something I'm not, just to be liked, or just not to be bullied. But the bullying didn't stop. It never stopped. And ooh, the bullying didn't stop. It never stopped. I remember I went through so many surgeries. I went through so many eye surgeries. I lost my sight on my on this eye, my right eye. I went through the most, especially in primary school. And then in grade 7, my mom decided to take me so that I live with her in Pretoria. I don't know what she thought was gonna happen, because wow, life in Pretoria is just so fast. So when I got there, did my grade 8, and that's when me becoming a clown started. I was always the class clown, always making jokes, And in the whole of my high school life, I think I've only fought with one person. I didn't even fight with them, I just beat them up. And then, grade 9, I also fought with a guy. So I was just an angry child overall. I was so angry. I faked my confidence. Everybody thought I was like this confident person, but like I really wasn't. I wasn't back then. I wasn't. But that was what everybody else thought. Like, my aunt would make reference about me to their children. Like, look at how the boy is living her life. She doesn't care. And it would hurt, because I thought, they are my parents. They should know when I'm going through the most. But they didn't. And now that I think about it, I think I'm not even knitting anymore. Now that I think about it, I think parents don't really, I don't want to say they don't care, but if people didn't give birth to you, they will never care as much as you think they should care. I don't know if that makes sense, but nobody ever realized how broken I was. Even the closest people to me never realized how broken of a child I am, how broken of a teenager I was. I started dating at a very young age, not having sex, dating. I felt like the more guys came to me and told me they loved me, I felt beautiful. That made me feel beautiful. That made me feel wanted. It made me feel like I was special somehow. And God, when guys came to me and said, "Ooh, I like you," it made me feel special. It made me feel wanted. It made me feel like I was beautiful. And only when I became really confident was when I realized that wasn't them really loving me. It was just, I don't even know how to put it into words, but yeah, it really ruined me. So in high school, my whole of high school, I had to pretend to be someone I'm not. I had to be this loud, overly loud person. I had to be this clown. I had to be out there, because I felt that if I kept to myself, that's when I'm really giving the bullies a chance to pick out on me, because obviously they're gonna think, what, she won't fight for herself, you know? So I became loud, like really loud. I was out there. I made sure that you knew who I was. I think everybody in my high school knew me, especially from grade 10 to grade 12. I totally made sure, because I felt it was a way of distracting bullies from my scars, but I couldn't have been more wrong, because I was still bullied at some point in some ways, and I just stopped talking about how bullied I was. I remember in grade 8 and 9, my mom had me go into a psychologist, and I don't want to lie, but that never helped me one bit, because I thought what a psychologist just want to hear certain things from you, and it wasn't helping me. Like, I would just tell the psychologist what they wanted to hear, and then I'll be done. But really, really, really deep down, didn't help me. It never did, and I don't think psychology can ever help a kid. A psychologist can never help a teenager. So yeah, I think that's my whole story. I really became a confident person 2021. So that's when, like, I really started loving myself, I think, appreciating who I was, knowing that there is really nothing that I can do to change things that I cannot change, accepting God's will, allowing God to be God. And I don't want to lie, still, the journey is still so hard, because there are some days where I wake up and feel like the most ugliest person ever. There are still days where I look at myself and I don't see the beauty that I know is there. So I'm still at war. On some days I still have to remind myself who I am. On some days I still have to remind myself how far I've come. On some days I still have to remind myself what I've been through and how I've dealt with it all. I keep looking sideways because I don't want to cry. But yeah, through it all, I'm still here. I've dealt with depression, anxiety. I've dealt with, and all on my own, if I can say. I didn't have support from anyone. I've never had support from anyone, not even my family, but that is not the point. I've dealt with a lot on my own, and I think that, it's possible. I've had suicidal thoughts. There's no dark place where I haven't been in my life. If it wasn't because I had scars, it was because I was called fat. If it wasn't because I was called fat, even by the people that should be protecting me, I was bullied by the same people that were supposed to be protecting me. You get? So I've been through so many highs and so many lows, but really I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for being here today, being able to share my story with whoever cares to listen. And I'm so glad that I got through this whole story without crying, even though I've stopped my tears more than 2 times maybe. But I'm really glad that God gave me a chance to live. And I really think that my story can inspire someone out there. I don't know where in the world you are, but it is possible. All the meds that you think you can swallow, the antidepressants, the anxiety pills, it's a lot to take in, I know, but like, I'm not gonna say remember who you are, because on some days it really doesn't help to remember who you are. It just links everything back to all the bad things that have happened to your life. So I won't say remember who you are, but hold on to whatever it is that make you a great person. Hold on to whatever it is that make you a different person, because that is everything. So enough with the sad story. I think this is where I will end it. Thank you for coming back. I love you guys and have a great one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and everything good. See you on my next one. Bye.